Yo, 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 what's up? What's going on? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome again to Pinky's Gem Box TV. Again, I am your sister, your friend, your homegirl, Sherelle. And I just want to thank y'all again for watching my channel. If you haven't done so already, please like these videos and subscribe. Also share if this is blessing your life. If you are enjoying our time together, go ahead and just share and spread the word. Let the people know that you're here. So today we on part three of advice, suggestions, tips, observations from a new preacher. So again, this is part 3. I did part 1 and part 2. I did on each of those videos I did 5 points, and so we're going to give you 5 more again today. So yeah, so again, this whole idea, this whole series is to just encourage and help my fellow sisters and brothers in the kingdom that are embarking on this new journey, new calling, assignment for preachers, or if you're called to teach at your church or in your ministry, if you're starting a new online series, if you're teaching on Facebook, wherever you are, be encouraged. Let God use you. It's a privilege to be used by God. All of us really are called to minister, but there are those that are, chosen in the actual office or position within ministries, and there are those of us who, just definitely have that assignment on our lives and specifically. And so it's just awesome to be it's awesome to just watch God take these words and really impact people's lives. And so we're gonna talk about that a bit today, just some more tips that will hopefully help you and just give you a boost of excitement and encouragement to just keep moving forth and go forth and use your mouth and let the Lord use you as He pleases. So let's jump right into it. Number 11. This is number 11. Listen for His still voice to nudge you about a topic. Study and build on what you have until you feel His impression upon you about a subject. So, oh my gosh, this is probably the most, I'm not going to say the most hardest, but this is the most, I say the most important part of the process. And the reason because all of God's word is necessary, and all the teaching the Bible, everything that's in the Bible is necessary for learning, necessary for correction and growing us. And so all of it is great regardless of what you're teaching. I think that all whatever you feel led to teach is great, right? But there are times when, we want, as teachers and preachers, we really want to speak the heart of God. And God normally has something specific at an appointed time and an appointed divine opportunity that He wants to get to people, or at least to whoever He has placed before you to receive the word on that day. So it's important that as a preacher we're in prayer, and we are constantly studying, constantly learning of the word, learning for ourselves, so that when God says, hey, it's your time to teach, I want you to teach on this subject, that we are diligent about giving what he gives you to talk about, gives you what he downloads in you to preach about, to teach to the people about. And that, because sometimes, you can kind of go on your own fly, and it's easy for us to, take over the moment and just do our own thing. But we want to make sure that we are, doing God's will and following his nudging and his guidance, and that we are led by the Spirit. And no, it's not always a grand vibe, like, the topic just came out of the sky with glitter, and sometimes it's not a big moment, but it's just a nudging in your heart, a nudging in your spirit, and you'll know when God is leading you to do something. So definitely go by the Spirit. Just allow God to speak to you and lead you to your subjects and your topics when you are chosen to give a sermon. So that's number 12. Number 12. Ooh, this is a good one. That moment when you get feedback about your sermon, and the feedback is wowing you because you didn't even realize all of this was going on. That moment is so priceless. So priceless. So let me explain. So after service, you will receive commentary, feedback about how the word has blessed somebody, and what they have received from your sermon. Now, don't let that get you in pride. Don't get your head big and start thinking that, oh yeah, it's me, I'm transforming lives, I'm doing my thing, I can preach. Like, don't get all into that. But it is wonderful and exciting when someone has been touched and their situation was spoken to by the word God gave you. Oh my gosh, when somebody is like, I needed that, you spoke directly to my situation. Or somebody can just break down what you have taught. They break down the points and they're like, yeah, because I realized like, and they start going into how God, while you was preaching, God was speaking to them about their situation and teaching them more on the subject you taught. Oh man, it's so good. It's so exciting. And it's like, sometimes we want to make things like I said the last video, sometimes we want to try to add a little juice and make the sermon fun and juicier and greater and all of that. But really, at the end of the day, we just talking, we just a vessel, and it's like the Spirit actually lands the word into people's heart. The Spirit actually carries the word and directs it to who needs to receive it, and he knows who even is going to be present when you are teaching. And it's all like divine and purposeful, and it's spiritual. It's so spiritual, and it's just like wonderful to be in the midst of that, to witness people just really be touched and transformed, and then to watch the word play out in their lives over time. Like, that is just great, and it's humbling, and it's like, it just makes me want to be more diligent and more serious about making sure that I rightly divide the word, that I seriously, like, even though I'm a teacher, that I'm always learning, and I'm always allowing God to give you more and go deeper, and yeah. that part is just amazing. All right, so number 13, being creative with the sermon and breaking it down by symbols or pictures really help to retain the word. Now again, this is teaching with the Spirit. Anytime that we are not teaching from our own doing, but we are teaching in collaboration with the Spirit of God. So sometimes, because the Spirit knows us and knows our minds, God made us, God know what He put inside us and how He built us and shaped us, that God will break down the words and symbols that we can relate to, and He will show you spiritual pictures that will directly demonstrate the point that you may be trying to make, or the topic that you are preaching on. Like, and so those symbols, those pictures, those examples really are great tools to help land your point. Now, like I said, we're not doing this by our own knowledge. We're not trying to we're not trying to use our logical, we're not trying to do our own thing and trying to preach by our own might. But by the Spirit, I believe that God allows His word to be broken down. Like He allows, He's the creator of the universe. So it's like things that happen in natural processes and sciences and math and different examples that we see and we experience every day. They all in some way point to God anyway. And so I think that God brings those things to our remembrance when you are studying, when you're writing down. And those pictures, that knowledge, that information helps land a point. And it's great. It's a great way to, keep your listeners paying attention and like get their wheels turning. Like, for example, I heard, when I heard preachers, I just heard a preacher talk about a butterfly and how a butterfly, before they start their chrysalis process, that they, sit on a branch and like they settle on a sturdy branch. And that's like that spiritual picture, that natural picture was like showing a spiritual thing, and it was so powerful. And like just those moments, or like one time I heard a minister, he was teaching about a car. I think it was a car that was breaking down, and he like just went through. It was really good. Like he went through the car breaking down, like, or I heard people use like a house and like basically, God, allowing God to enter your house and enter each room of your house to clean it up. Like just those pictures, those symbols can help land a point in people's, for people to remember. So always remember that, just sit with the Spirit and allow the Spirit to just open up some creative ideas so that we can continue to spread the word. So yeah, that's number 13. Number 14. You should find a watch or something to help you with timing while you are preaching. Oh my gosh. This is a toughie for me. This one is a toughie because I have not mastered that point, but I am working on that point. And let me tell you why. Because we have a clock that sits up, but sometimes I haven't activated the clock. So that can be a challenge, because if you don't, you know, in our times, the attention span can be kind of shorter. You know, back in the day, we were all, you know, people was used to hearing 2-hour sermons, and all, you know, we were used to that. But these days, we have been, just with technology and the advancement of technology, we are used to, you know, 30-minute go, and the most an hour. You know what I'm saying? The most an hour. And so, for me, I've had it where I will work on my time at home, but when I actually get before the congregation, timing might be a little off, and I found myself either going faster than I practice at home, or either going slow and like the sermon being seeming long to the congregation, even though to me it didn't seem that long. So that is something to think about. Make sure either you need to have a watch, or maybe your church has a clock that they can start and that you can pay attention to, but just be very mindful of timing, and that you are not overdoing, you know, the time that you have, and that you are also not under, you know, you don't always underdo your time. If you're given a slot for an hour and, you know, you preach for 15 minutes, you know, that could, you know, well, if the Lord leads you, then it is what it is. But for the most part, you know, if you have a time slot, try to be honorable to that time slot, is basically that point. And I am working on that. So yeah. All right, and number 15. When it's time to preach a sermon that is scheduled, do not watch other sermons, because you may dilute what God wants to say, because you are so inspired by what God told someone else. This is a good one. And I don't know if this is because, like I said, I don't know if this is like because I'm new, because I'm more, you know, I'm new to preaching, new to teaching the gospel in front of a congregation, but just new to it, period. For me, I find it very hard to, if I'm preparing to teach a sermon, I cannot listen to a bunch of different sermons while preparing my own sermon. And like I said, I don't know, this might be just like because I'm new, I'm still, you know what I'm saying, well, everybody's still learning, but because I'm you know, still learning the words, still, you know, working on memorization and things like that. And just because, you know, I watch so many good preachers that, you know, I find that a lot of times, like, because God is speaking to us all, and He's speaking to us all the time, a lot of the sermons, you know, seemingly overlap, but really it's just God. All of us are speaking what God is speaking to His people in our nation at a time, and of course it's going to be variations and all of that. But like, so when I'm preparing for a sermon, I kind of don't. I've pulled back for that time of preparing, so that I can make sure that I'm not taking it from what, you know, trying to, you know, be somebody else, or because I'm inspired by this preaching and what he just preached, and it can go inside of what I'm, you know, what God has given me, and I'm just trying to add to it to put some juice on it, because that point that he made was a tweetable point, and it was a good point, you know. And I'm just, I mean, that's transparent and honest as I can get. Like, that's for real. Like, so I just make sure that I, you know, just kind of fall back, and especially especially when I know that I'm going to preach. Now, if you are just called on, the day, you sometimes, we always should have a word anyway, but like when you are working on something specific, God gave you a special sermon or a special assignment, or you got a date that you are preparing for. For me, it's been helpful not to go into a whole bunch of different preachers' sermons or services that I enjoy on my normal time. So yep, so that's the 5 tips for part 3. I still have more tips because I've been documenting since day 1. I thought that was just something, I'm a writer, I try to write and stuff anyway, so but for me this is just something to just document and look back over the years, something I felt led to do. So yeah, so I hope, like I said, I hope these tips are helping you. I hope these tips make you feel better, make you feel a little more comfortable, and as you begin to step out and begin to let the Lord use your mouthpiece, that you are confident and bold, and y'all be stepping into this with no fear. Okay, so I love y'all. Hey, make sure you email me at pinkiesgembox@gmail.com if you have any suggestions, any topics that you want me to go over. Y'all, I got so much to talk about. Like, I'm so glad I made this YouTube channel because I got so much to discuss, and so we are going to get into it. But yes, so I'll see y'all soon for part 4. I love y'all. Again, make sure that you subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so that you may be alarmed every time I drop a new video. And y'all have a good night. It's late where I am, so have a good night, and I will see you next time. Love you. Peace.